Angola, the story of a nation on the southwestern coast of Africa, lies a country of incredible beauty. Its name is Angola. Angola is a land of powerful kingdoms, ancient cultures, colonial history, war, natural resources, and remarkable resilience. Its capital is Luanda. Today, Luanda is a huge modern city on the Atlantic coast. But its story began centuries ago. Long before Europeans arrived, the region of modern Angola was home to powerful African societies. One of the most important was the Kingdom of Congo. Another was the Kingdom of Ndongo. These kingdoms had their own rulers, armies, economies, cultures, and political systems. Angola was already a land of organized and powerful societies. Then, in the late 15th century, Portuguese explorers reached the region. Portuguese influence gradually expanded. In 1576, Paulo Dias de Nove established the settlement that became Luanda. Luanda would eventually become the political and economic center of Portuguese Angola. For centuries, Portuguese control expanded across the territory. But Angola also became deeply connected to one of the darkest chapters in human history: the transatlantic slave trade. Luanda became an important center in the trade of enslaved Africans. Large numbers of people were violently taken from their homes and transported across the Atlantic. Families were separated. Communities were destroyed. Millions of lives were affected by slavery and its consequences. Yet Angolan culture survived. African languages, traditions, music, beliefs, and identities continued through generations. During the 19th and 20th centuries, Portuguese control became stronger. New towns, roads, railways, plantations, and ports were developed. But colonial rule also created inequality and resistance. By the 20th century, Angolan nationalism was growing. Several movements began fighting for independence. Among the most important were the MPLA, the FNLA, and UNITA. In 1961, armed resistance against Portuguese colonial rule began. The struggle continued for more than a decade. Then, in 1974, Portugal experienced a revolution. The Portuguese government began withdrawing from its African colonies. Angola moved toward independence. But independence would not bring immediate peace. On November 11, 1975, Angola officially became independent from Portugal. Antonio Agostinho Neto became the country's first president. For the Angolan people, it was a historic moment. After centuries of colonial rule, Angola was finally an independent nation. But a new conflict was beginning. The major political movements began fighting each other. The conflict developed into a devastating civil war. The MPLA and UNITA became the main forces in the war. The conflict was also influenced by foreign powers during the Cold War. Cuban forces supported the MPLA. South Africa intervened in support of forces fighting the MPLA. The United States and the Soviet Union also became involved indirectly through their wider Cold War alliances. The war continued for decades. Millions of Angolans were affected. Many people were displaced from their homes. Cities, roads, bridges, and other infrastructure were destroyed. Then, in 2002, a major turning point finally arrived. On April 4, 2002, the Angolan government and UNITA signed an agreement that ended the civil war. After 27 years of conflict, the guns finally fell silent. Angola could begin rebuilding. The country entered a new era. Reconstruction transformed many parts of Angola. But Angola had something else that would shape its future: natural wealth. The country possesses enormous reserves of oil and diamonds. Oil became the backbone of the Angolan economy. The country's Atlantic coastline also supports fishing and maritime industries. Angola has fertile land, forests, rivers, minerals, and enormous potential for agriculture and tourism. But Angola still faces major challenges. Economic inequality remains a serious issue. The country is also working to reduce its dependence on oil and diversify its economy. And then there is Luanda. Luanda is the heart of Angola. The city was founded in 1576. Today, it is filled with modern buildings, busy roads, businesses, restaurants, markets, and millions of people. The city also preserves reminders of its past. One of its most famous landmarks is the Fortaleza de São Miguel. Built during the Portuguese colonial period, the fortress stands as a reminder of the city's complicated history. Modern Luanda represents both the past and the future of Angola. But Angola is much more than its capital. The country is incredibly diverse. It has long Atlantic beaches. It has mountains. It has vast savannas. It has forests. It has rivers and spectacular waterfalls. It also has extraordinary wildlife. Angola is one of Africa's countries with enormous natural beauty and tourism potential. And perhaps the most important part of Angola is its people. Angola is a young country with a rich cultural identity. Portuguese is the official language. But many Angolans also speak local languages such as Mbundu, Kimbundu, Kikongo, and Chokwe. Music and dance are deeply connected to Angolan culture. The country has produced famous musicians, artists, athletes, and writers. Angola's history has not been easy. It has experienced colonialism. It has experienced slavery. It has experienced independence. It has experienced one of the longest civil wars in modern African history. But Angola survived. Today, Angola is building its future. Its cities are growing. Its infrastructure is developing. Its young population is looking toward new opportunities. And its natural resources continue to shape its economy. From the ancient Kingdom of Congo to the Kingdom of Ndongo, from the founding of Luanda to centuries of Portuguese rule, from the struggle for independence to decades of civil war, and finally, to peace in 2002. Angola has experienced extraordinary change. But Angola is not only a story about its past. It is a story about resilience. It is a story about culture. It is a story about survival. And it is a story about hope. Today, the Angolan flag flies over an independent nation. A nation with a painful past. A beautiful landscape. A powerful culture. And a future that is still being written. This is Angola. A country that has survived its history. And is now creating its future.